Hello, everyone. Hi, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of The Expanse Reaction. This is Red Live. My name is Matt. Uh, yeah, episode 2. We just started this last week. It's been a week for me. Hi. But yeah, hi. Episode 1 should be up on YouTube by now. I'm not sure how well it's going to be doing, but hopefully y'all like it because a lot of people actually requested the show. So yeah, okay. Hopefully even more people will show up because season 4 apparently like dropped like coincidentally with me, and it's been wild. But whatever. Hi. So yeah, what can I say about this show as an intro? Just nothing. Just previous episode was Dulcinea. I think that was the title of it. We got introduced to some characters. We got introduced to the world, and that was it. Really, some shit happened at the end of the episode, but other than that, sure. I'm just trying to keep up with all the things that the show is setting up, and I actually have my little notepad file here that I used to write shit down as I was watching it. In fact, like I didn't make full notes. I only like wrote single words and names and reminders, mostly names, which is the one thing I feel like I'm trying to figure out. So um, I'm gonna go through them real quick and I'll say what I think they are. So okay, let's go with Havelock. That was the young detective dude who, not the hat dude, but the other dude who is an Earther. Okay, that was Havelock. Then we got Julie Mao. I think her middle name was Andromeda, actually. Julie Andromeda Mao. And I think Julie was short for Juliet. I could be entirely wrong about that, but I believe she is the woman that showed up at the beginning of the episode. That then she saw some fucked up shit and she screamed. Whatever. The point is that the detectives, mostly not Havelock, he's not really on the case, but the other guy, who his name I believe is Miller, he is looking for this woman, Julie, because she just disappeared, and she is like a rich chick, because she's the daughter of some big guy. I don't exactly remember why he was a big guy, but money. They have money. That family has money, but she went missing. So he's looking for her. Then we got what I would consider to be what would be the closest thing to a main character, at least, which is Holden. So we got Holden, and this guy immediately shows up, and he's banging his girlfriend, who is also a co-worker, called Nygaard. It's this blonde chick, and they work as, are they kind of like a shipping thing? I don't necessarily know what they exactly were doing, but they were transporting, I think it was ice from one place to another. So it's like they're transporting cargo. That's it. And they had this full crew of people that did that. But while they were out there just doing their own thing, they found an SOS signal, a distress signal from a random spaceship that is just like in the middle of nowhere. And they were like, we can go and try and see what's going on. The captain of said ship said, no, this is probably pirate bait. But then Holden just went ahead and just sent the information that they found to HQ, and then HQ was like, well, you gotta go and check that now, because I assume it's kind of a policy of like, if you see someone SOS, then check them out. So then they were kind of forced to do it. So the captain made a team of like 5 people, I think, and I don't necessarily know all their names, but those 5 people went and checked to see what went down on that ship that was sending the SOS signal. When they got there, they found that the ship was actually like completely empty, and they found a transmitter, like a little device that was transmitting the SOS signal, and it was like, well, this was actually Pirate Bay because there's nobody here. That the signal came from this machine, and then a spaceship just showed up out of nowhere, just completely out of nowhere, and it's like, what the fuck kind of stealth device is that? And they said it might be from the people from Mars, because that's a faction. We'll get to that in a bit. But that ship showed up out of nowhere, and then they attacked. So it's like, well, we're fucked. And then the attack went past the rescue group of 5 people, including Holden, and it actually went straight for the main ship where Nygar, the girlfriend, was, as well as the captain and all the other people, and they just fucking blew the fuck up. They're all dead. They're dead now. Dead. They might actually not be dead because I don't know what the show is gonna want to try to do. But the main thing that I'm thinking right now is that when I edited episode 1, because I have to edit everything myself too, I edited that episode, and there was this one moment with the captain when, like, Holden like look at his shelf, and there were like I think a bunch of like figures and toys or whatever, and he was like, "What is that about?" And then the captain kind of like dodged the question, and I was like, "Oh, that's gonna come back," and then it's like, it didn't. So I'm just like, maybe they survive just so that can come back. That's the only thing I'm hanging on to. Otherwise, I think they're just dead. I think they're just gone. So there you go. So the surviving members of the ship were the people on the rescue team, or like a little ship, little shuttle, whatever, and those were, well, Holden, I think a guy named Alex, 2 other guys who I have no idea who they are, and Naomi. Naomi is, I think her name was Naomi at least. She's like my favorite character so far, if not entirely because of her hairstyle. That's it. And the actress that plays her is actually really good looking. So that's like the only reason she's my favorite character right now. I know nothing about her and anyone. Well, I didn't know nothing about anyone in the show so far. So we'll see where it goes. But it seems that this like crew of like 5 people are the 5 like main characters. Though the way this show seems to be working is we're gonna be following multiple groups of people. So whoever the main character is, it kind of doesn't matter. It's just kind of a follow everything that's going on, right? So we got the detectives, Miller and Havelock, and mostly Miller, and he is like, okay, I need to find this girl. He also like we established that he like took bribes from like for the police by some dude that had like shitty like air systems or whatever, and then he threw him into a airlock thing, and he kind of like almost suffocated, and then he was like, "I see, you're just nice, keep it clean, you know, just like do your fucking job, you piece of shit." So that was nice. And then we got to see, and I'm not gonna forget about this, but I don't know her name. I wrote Patch here, and I'm not sure what the fuck that was. Just P-A-J. I don't know what Patch is. It might be this woman, and it's this Earth woman. She's a grandma, and she was just kind of hanging out with her grandson, and then immediately she went to interrogate like a criminal, maybe, or a rebel, I don't know, who was apparently like transporting like forbidden stealth devices or something, and then he was being interrogated with torture, the torture being just Earth gravity, which is wild. And it's like, yeah, grandma got no chill. So that's her. Also, something that was pointed out to me is that like we established like very early on that like water is like a really like important resource in, at least in like Ceres, I think. And then we get this Earth, and we see this child just throwing water in like a water balloon, just like, fuck, I don't care, I don't have to worry about this. And it's like, oh, that's good. That's a good piece of storytelling within the world that I didn't pick on, because I feel like it's super subtle, and I enjoy that. But okay, let's go back to some of the terms. I wrote dusters, earthers, and belters. So okay, we got the earthers, which are people from Earth. Simple enough. The Earth is being ruled by the UN, I think. Then we got the belters, which is this people that work on Ceres and like the rings, and they get a lot of resources from there, particularly ice, because I think Ceres was covered in ice, and they send them to other places. But the thing is that essentially like belters are almost slaves. At least that's what the show told me so far. Which is like they just work in order to get this fucking shipment delivery to other people, other planets. But because of the way they work, the conditions they live in, and the gravity, their bodies are kind of fucked up. Just always have some kind of deformity, which is why that dude was being interrogated on Earth by just gravity, because his body was born on space, Cirrus, and the belts, and he always just worked there, and then he came to Earth, and he's not adjusted to Earth's gravity, so it's like the gravity itself is crushing his body, which is not used to it. So it's like a weak body. So yeah, apparently built are sort of like super lanky, super tall, but their bodies are just fucking weak as shit. So it's like, okay, all right. And then we got the Dusters, which I believe are people from Mars. And apparently Mars is being we didn't get to see anyone from Mars, by the way. I don't think so, at least on episode 1. But they did tell us at the beginning that it was mostly like ruled by like a military power. It was like a military state. So that's Mars. Yes. So there you go. That's what we have established in episode 1, I think. I don't think I missed anything. We saw that one guy who was just crazy. He was the XO of Holden's ship, and we don't know what he was crazy, but he was crazy. And then it's like, I'm not sure if that's gonna come back or not, but fuck it, I don't know. I'm just gonna mention it. Yeah. Then the thing we saw at the beginning with Julie Mao, she just saw and screamed, and that was it. Like she was alone in the ship asking for help. She like drank like a fucking small drop of water that might have been a tear or whatever, and then she like went out on like the whole. Okay, this is something I thought about. She was walking out on like the spaceship, but she wasn't wearing like a helmet or anything. And it's like, yeah, whatever. It's a spaceship. You're gonna assume it's like sealed shut. But then when we saw fucking Holden and the other crew going to the ship, they saw that the ship had a huge hole in it. So it's like, and they were all wearing suits when they went in. So it's like, they probably cannot breathe if they weren't wearing the suits because the ship is fucked. So it's like, okay, then what the fuck? Julie, what? I don't. Okay, I'm gonna check this out. Like, actually, I have the episode right here. I'm gonna check it out. Like, I don't think she was wearing any like suits or anything. No, she wasn't. She's not. Like, I'm literally looking at her. Julie Mao is not wearing any suit or anything that can keep the air tight for her. She's literally just like nothing. She's just wearing clothing, and that is it. So okay, if we go by this train of thought, okay, A to V to C, that means that this happened either before that, or this happened, or when is this happening? Because she's missing right now, right? Because the detectives are looking for her right now. At least I assume that everything is working on the same like timeline. You know, everything is going simultaneous to each other, right? So that means that this scene at the beginning might have been a scene that happened previously, and now we're seeing the aftermath. Okay, maybe the hole in the ship was because of whatever Julie Mao saw, and that's what blew up the ship. I don't know. So that can be a thing. The alternative is just some dumb sci-fi bullshit. You know, just like it's a simulation, or like like her consciousness is existing on a different realm, which is inside of a computer or whatever you want to go on that, because I literally have nothing to go on. So I'm just gonna try some sci-fi cliches, and I'm just gonna say one of them I hit. So that's the end of that. I just realized the air thing when I was editing. So there you go. Yeah, I think we're done. I think everything I needed to say about the beginning. I've been talking for 15 minutes. Hell yeah. I do this a lot, by the way. Get used to it. So, I think we're ready to start. So, The Expanse, Season 1, Episode 2. Let's go! She also told him there's something you should know at the last moment.
Debris field.
Okay. What is the damage we've sustained, though? so far. The thing here is that Naomi also knows that Holden was the guy that made this shit because he told her, so you know.
I'm telling you to go after that ship.
What if they don't like being followed?
Flip off that screen, they're gone forever. What's wrong with you? I gave an order!
You think rank matters now?
Right?
We're not going anywhere.
Engine shut down. Tension. Intro, there we go. I do like this intro. I like the fonts that they use. What's that?
Home. I'm home.
Wow. Wow. It's a machine that
Show me my files.
turns your voice into the voice of the person that you're trying to find information about. So then you can use their computer. Fucking wow.
Tried to give you the best of all worlds, and you choose to live like some filthy handmaid among the riffraff of the solar system. Since you have no intention of returning home, I'm forced to consider selling the Razorback.
So blind and so condescending, and you're never gonna change. You can't buy me off or control me anymore. Maybe what you hate about me the most is that I remind you of yourself.
And now it's moving. Okay.
Keep it up, partner.
Secretary General has publicly disavowed gravity torture. If you want to talk to that belter, you put him in the tank.
Okay, so gravity torture is kind of a big deal. I wouldn't use that. But Grandma didn't give a shit.
Restricted stealth technology that could destroy the balance in the system.
You mean the balance between Earth and Mars? In a way, it's a lousy deal for belters.
Someone entrusted you to transport pieces of the Holy Grail. The question is, who?
The night. Oh, I'm gonna write that down. I forgot about the name of the...
I don't mean to be a bad news bull or anything, but airlock's done. The outer door's gone.
Everything depends on fixing that radio. We're wasting time.
We're safe right now. We open those doors, we're done. The ship could crack apart. I'm telling you, we can't just. If we open those doors, please just listen to me. Listen to me. If we go out there, we're gonna die. I'm not ready to die.
Hey, you're in shock. You're in shock.
Have a panic attack.
You know the symptoms, just breathe. Breathe, deep, breathe, breathe.
It can always be worse. Okay. It's worse.
That reminded me of the thing at the beginning of the show. The light blue thing.
Some belters clearly don't respect the green space's role in recycling the air and the water. Not to mention the embarrassment it causes the governor.
You seem sure it was Belters.
The criminals here tend to be.
Maybe if everyone in Ceres had this view, they'd respect it more.
Trying to fix the antenna.
Oh, shit!
Oh my god, you don't... How could it fly away? There's no gravity in space. Unless you deliberately, like, threw it. Right?
What's the deal with you and Naomi? You two an item or something? An item? You must think I'm pretty stupid, don't you? I mean, you're right. I can take a core part, put it back together with my eyes closed. But ask me whether or not I should rip your helmet off and kick you off this bucket. And I can't give you a reason why I should. Or shouldn't. Except Naomi wouldn't like it.
You keep singing.
Alex, what are you doing?
I'm bringing her home, honey pie. One more tour and we'll be together.
Oh no!
Just one trip to Ganymede, sweetheart.
His breather's crapping out.
Damn it, how long can he hold on?
Not a lot.
We're losing him. We're coming back in.
Negative. We don't have enough oxygen to vent again. Shed, take care of him, do something.
We gotta fix this no matter what.
We're in a vacuum. He's in a suit.
Yeah, what do we do? Like,
What do you want me to do?
that's bad.
Hold on, buddy. Just, come on. Hold on, Alex.
That's a crazy thing he's doing.
There it is. Breathe. Breathe, Alex. Breathe it in. Breathe.
That's not a lot, dude. Those two are probably gonna die. Well, I think one of them is definitely expendable, the other one might not be.
We have connection.
Oh my god, that was it. Alright, just hit it.
Get back in here now.
Yeah, go! Don't waste any time, go! Oh, the ship itself has air. Okay. We just couldn't have that while we're open in space. Is he dead? It was the other way around. Okay. Alright. Okay, Shed's dead. I wrote down Shed medic and now I should just write Shed dead. Alright. Never mind. Shed alive. Gotcha.
Ow! What the hell did you do to me?
You saved my heart, partner. You crazy son of a bitch.
No problem.
It's gonna be it's really awkward between Holden and Naomi because Naomi literally knows that it's all his fault.
I believe the OPA may be trying to obtain stealth weapons.
Everything is not an OPA plot, and if Earth can't afford a stealth program, how can a bunch of rock tossers?
They can't. Unless they have found a new friend like Mars.
Cold War's a bloodless war. Mutual distrust and complete codependence. Nobody wants to change that. Least of all Mars.
The Cold War is over. This is something new.
The political climax is shifting.
So we just blew an hour of air for a radio that doesn't even work?
Can't we rig ourselves an amplifier? We're gonna need a shitload of power.
Take everything apart. Be fast and be careful. We're inside a balloon with a pin here. If it has a battery, a power pack, any charge capability, it goes into a pile.
Move!
I'm sorry, does anyone need a back rub first?
Yeah. Fucking get to work.
Even if someone hears our SOS, they're gonna think we're pirates.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, we're just gonna have to pray there's another caring soul out there like Ade.
Ade? She's why we're in this shit right now. All that
Mmm.
stupid distress call.
Hey. You don't know what you're talking about. You want to keep your teeth in your mouth.
We're wasting air.
Yes.
You want to unburden your soul? Do it on your own time. On the remotest chance we get out of this alive. We have enough problems right now.
Don't I like a dick to Naomi? She's literally the only hope. The only one that's actually actively trying to survive here. Not survive, but like save your asses.
Nice chat. Boss let you wear
OPA.
your colors like that out in the open? Boss has one just like it.
Even water like these today. Beltaloda gonna want it. Huh? Sabaka. It's good. Good. We can sell him.
Let's make some money. Star Helix, don't move!
That's a lot of water we're wasting on this operation.
What are you punks doing stealing up tunnel water? Free sample. You're lucky. It's us chasing you, and not the Griegas. They would feed you your fingers for playing in that district. Griegas are gone. It's our turf now. Nobody just abandons their territory for a bunch of street punks. You see, the Griegas were smart. They'd siphon a little water, they'd sell it off. Nobody's wiser. It's you. You gutter punks. You screwed the golden goose. Yeah, a couple years on a prison barge and set them straight. Huh? You like that? Do what you gotta do.
Alright.
Hey.
It's gonna let him go.
Stay away from Aqua. Tell all your friends.
Like he's a cop, but he's not a lawful cop. He has his own morals and convictions, so.
Heike Sabon took his own life by avoiding the high-gravity injections from his crash couch. It appears he broke free of his restraints during the critical phase of the ascent when he knew the guards would be receiving their own injections.
I think, Madam, he was making a statement.
Speak frankly, please.
He killed himself.
Earth's gravity. We used it to hurt him. He threw it back in our face.
This beacon we answered isn't pirate tech. It's top-grade military stuff. Serial stamp on the main board. Martian Congressional Navy.
That makes no kind of sense.
It makes all kind of sense. That ship that attacked the can wasn't tucked behind an asteroid. It was hiding in plain sight. It's a stealth ship.
Why would they nuke a civilian ship without one?
Right?
Because they can.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, he has a story for sure.
Now there's a girl I'm not gonna forget anytime soon.
Yeah? Why's that?
Okay.
A few rotations
We gotta leave.
back, some dog jock was slobbering all over while she's prepping her ship out. God damn, she planted him in the deck.
Good.
That girl had skills.
I like that.
What ship was that?
Scopuli, dumpy old transport, no cargo, just this young lady and a few crew.
So it was that ship. The same ship that they found in episode 1. Something? Someone?
Ship en route. How far?
But what ship? That you don't know.
What? What is it?
The ship. It's Mars.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
Coming to finish the job.
And we just told him where we were.
I mean, we were gonna die anyway, so what does it matter? But like, god damn it. There's water on the ship.
The Canterbury was reported to be carrying ice bound for Sirius Station, and the loss of that shipment has prompted a drastic increase in water rationing station-wide. A spokesman...
Why did they nuke the Canterbury without taking the ice, which is something that, like, it's a good resource, right? It's talking about it on the news, so like, it mattered. Why just nuke it? Oh, that's good. I will be your Sherpa. Just taking her.
Sure can pick 'em.
I mean, they.
You think a rich girl like her would have had that birthmark fixed?
It's a birthmark her parents would have had it fixed.
Yeah, it's a scar then. I actually am not seeing it. Where specifically?
Oh, it's a badge of defiance.
Did she tell you that herself?
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Fuck you, Dad.
We're the only ones who know what happened to the cans. We get on that ship and chances are we're never coming out.
Can they send a message or some
My name
recording?
is James Holden, speaking for the 5 survivors of the Canterbury. Our ship was destroyed answering a bogus SOS from a ship called the Scopuli.
We recovered a false beacon and identified it as Martian naval technology. It was a trap.
Are you
We're
insane?
about to be taken aboard the MCRN Donner.
Alex, shut him down.
He's locked us out. He's locked us out.
Speak for us.
We intend to cooperate, host. This means we won't be harmed.
Should I smoke them?
We're dead anyway.
We are, like.
Any such action would only confirm that the Canterbury was destroyed by Mars.
Did we just start an intergalactic war?
The jammers were in range.
Alright. I mean, I'm surprised they're turning us in. Did they want something specific? Did they want some kind of information? Because they just blew the other ship up. With this one, they are not, so.
You are prisoners of the Mars Congressional Republic. Move and you die.
Alright. There we go. That was it. That's an episode. Alright. Alright, that was Expanse, episode 2, season 1. I was told this is probably like the slowest one in the season, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not remembering correctly. But yeah, I can see it. So, okay, let's I'm gonna go back to the episode and I'm gonna go skim through it and see like, okay, what do I talk about here? Okay. So immediately it's like, okay, we survived. The Knight survived. The Night crew. So Knight is the name of the shuttle that we're in, the small ship. And okay, we got a couple names. We got Shed, which is the medic dude. We already knew about Holden. His first name is Jim, it seems like. Then we got Naomi, Alex, and then there's another guy that I don't know his name. And I don't know if they said it, maybe they did. But I'm not entirely sure. So we have those 5. So Holden, Naomi, is Alex the asshole? Not the asshole, but like the guy that doesn't give a shit about anything except for what Naomi says. That guy. He might be Alex, he might not be. I don't remember. Then we got Shed, which is the medic dude. He actually had a panic attack, and they were like, "Hey, chill out. It's fine." And they gave him like a medicine or whatever, and then he calmed down. Then we had the other guy who may also be Alex. Like, I don't remember exactly who was Alex. I know there was an Alex. I just don't remember which one. But that other guy is the guy that he has like the beard, and he actually ran out of air, and he was fucking delusional and singing and then almost dying. And then Shed, the medic, he just like took out his own air supply of oxygen and just put it on his suit, and he was like, okay, breathe my air. And then they started sharing, and then they both almost died because they didn't have a lot of air to begin with on that suit. So while Holden and the other guy, who might also be Alex, they were just fixing the antenna outside to see if they can make a transmission. So they did that. All right. So okay, that's what happened to the Night crew. Those are 5 characters in the Night, and yeah, that's what they did. After they fixed the transmission thing, they were like, okay, we don't have enough signal power to reach anywhere of substance. So then they just like dismantled the ship from the inside, basically, and just took out everything that could have some kind of battery or power and connected it to the signal so it can be boosted. So then someone could be able to hear them, and then they did, and it turns out that there was a Martian ship. All right, that was on very few words, not many, very few, but a couple. What happened to the Night crew? But then we also got to see a lot of Miller and Havelock. So Miller was doing his job as a cop, essentially. Miller and Havelock was with him. Sure. But okay, so the thing with Miller is that we see him like, okay, so he's tracking Julie Mao. He's tracking Julie Mao, of course. He's doing his job of like investigating what happened to her. So he went to her house and he's like, okay, I'm just using this. I like that, like that device that he had that essentially emulated Julie Mao's voice. So he was able to just give commands, and then the computer would emulate those words with her voice, and then like the computer would do whatever it was told to do because he was using her voice. I like that, and I like that thing, and I like that it didn't tell me what it was. I like that it was just shown as part of the universe, and it's like, yeah, I get it. You know, it's simple enough. You need to show me one scene with it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, and then we never see it again. Well, we might see it at some point in the future, but it's like there's no need to explain what it is. All right, and I enjoy that. So that way he found out that Julie Mao not in a good relationship with her dad, or I don't know, her parents in general, whatever. I don't know what their story is, but with her dad, she doesn't get along with, and her dad is like this like big rich dude, and she's like, "Fuck you, dad." And her dad actually doesn't like the choices she makes in her life. He's like, he said like living like a whatever handmaid, or someone unconsequential. He sounded like a rich asshole. So it's like, yeah, fuck that guy, and she was like, fuck that guy. So there you go. That's a dysfunctional relationship established. Then he figured out that she went to a ship and she like fucking punched a dude or whatever, just fucking slime his face on the floor. I don't know. I'm just imagining a fight scene, but they didn't show it to us. Yeah, that's all we know on her. and she was a part of the Scolipy. What is the name of it? Scolipy. Because I'm confusing it with Scolipy, which is a character in JoJo. Yeah, whose stand is literally called Rolling Stones. Okay, never mind about JoJo. Scopuli. Okay, it's Escapuli, not Escalipi or Escalupi. It's Escapuli. I'm gonna write that down because I'm gonna forget. Escapuli. Alright. So the Escapuli is the ship where Julie Mao was. She was being transported only with like a couple of like crew members. Like it was only her and like a couple other people, not a lot. So not a big crew. And that's it. That's all we know. It's like, oh, that ship went missing. Whatever happened to it? The thing is that as an audience, we know that the ship that what was the name of their main ship? Did I write it down? Okay, the main ship, which the knight came from. You know, the main unit were fucking Ade, Nygar, and Holden, and all those people came from. That ship found the Scopuli. Fuck. This is gonna be difficult because I keep thinking of that character from JoJo. They found the Escapuli where we assume and we have seen that Julie Mao was in at some point, but we don't know what happened to it. So there is a mystery going on there, and then there is the mystery of what happened to our crew where Holden and all the people were in, because it's like we arrive and then suddenly, oh shit, we got nuked. All right. And now we're being taken as like prisoners. And it's like, what happened? All right. What's going on here? And there might be some kind of like the Martians are trying to take over the universe or whatever. Like we might go into something like that. Some stupid like sci-fi political shit like that. So that could happen. I don't know. But it seems that they are painting the Martians to be like this antagonistic force, at least for the time being. And it's like, all right, sure. We don't know anything about them other than they are probably a military force, and they mentioned them a little bit on this episode, particularly in the moments where we were on Earth. Bam, segue. So on Earth we got the character of Christian, who is the grandma from episode 1, who had no chill, and she just tortured this guy with gravity for 20 hours. And we apparently learned that gravity is banned. It's like you don't torture people from space builders with gravity, because that's kind of fucked up. And the fact that you did it to this one guy for like 20 hours is bad. Why did you do that? So then they put him into the tank, and then she's trying to get information out of him. And that guy was pretty smug. That guy was pretty like, fuck you, I do what I want, you know, despite the situation he was in. So he didn't say anything. And then they transported him back into space, I guess. Back to Ceres, I don't remember. But while the process they were doing of like, I think they have this thing that they showed us on episode 1 where whenever they engage into like hyperdrive or whatever, they like take this like injections or drugs or whatever while they hold still, and they go like, "Arr!" And while that process was happening, the guy like literally just like fucking freed himself from that and just died as a result. But he did it literally just to die. He basically killed himself. So it was like he was making a point almost. You know, it's like you torture us with gravity and this fuck you. You know, you get nothing. So that's what ended up happening. I might want to go back and recheck that. Oh, what I need to go and recheck is what about the fucking scar that Julie Mao apparently has? Because I didn't see it, but apparently she has one. But okay, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. It's that Hollywood, and I understand this is not Hollywood, but it's like, okay, I'm actually gonna read it her like Tinder description because I think I can read it. Like it's super small, but I can. I don't think it matters what we do on the first day, and I'm a big fan of simplicity. To a coffee and walk would be just fine. This is just one example of a profile that would stand out as as different and arguably better than the most other uh, pages written by guys. Is this like a literal just copy paste of what to put on a dating profile? Financially secure is a bad move in a dating profile because it's an immediate red flag to a guy that may be dealing with a materialistic woman. That's literally what the episode says. Like, I'm reading her dating profile. That's what it says. I was about to check on her scar and then I forgot. Where's the scar that they keep talking about? Because I don't fucking see it. The nose has something that looks like... Oh, is it the lower jaw? The lower right jaw? I think it might be. The lower right jaw. Yeah, I think I see it. It's not very clear, but I think I can see it. So what I was going to say about scars is that... Scars is a weird thing in like Hollywood, and not even Hollywood, because this isn't Hollywood, but it's like TV or whatever. When your job is to, because your job is literally look pretty on screen and act well, like literally, yeah, like you need to A, look good, and B, act well. And Scar, for a lot of dumb people, is not something that looks good. So they don't want characters to have like gross scars. So this character is a character that we're supposed to think of like, oh, she's this cool lady, and it's like, yeah, we're not gonna make it super disfigured, which means that her scar is not gonna be like super noticeable. I have a noticeable scar. You can see it right there. Probably not as noticeable as, like, probably is as equally noticeable as hers. But you can see it right there with the light. I fucking fissured my skull when I was 4 by running into a stone wall because I was a dumb child. Well, most childs are dumb, but not every child gets a scar like that and almost die. Like, the fucked up thing about that accident that I got is that, like, I was 4 and, like... It was like it was a couple of things. It was I'm not even talking about the episode, by the way, but I do this a lot. Don't worry. I literally ran into the stone wall, and I was in fucking kindergarten when this happened, by the way. And then I was like, oh man, I feel stunned because I just ran my head into the stone wall. And then I walked into my like teacher, and I was like, hey miss, like is like did I hurt myself or something like that? And then she wasn't looking at me. She was on giving her back to me. And then she turned around. She saw me, and her immediate reaction was just like scream in horror. She just looked at me, and her face went from like she was talking to someone else. So she was like, and just scream. And when you're a kid and you walk up to a figure of authority, of like, oh, this person knows what they're doing. That's kind of their job. And I walked up to her and I was like, hey, is this fine? And her only reaction was just screaming horror. I was like, all right, I'm dying then. Cool. You know? So that was the first step of that situation going on. The second thing about that is that then, of course, they call the ambulance, they call ER, whatever. I was taken on the ambulance. I don't even remember that. I only remember when this shit was being taken care of. I was getting stitches for this. The problem with that is that there was no anesthesiologist on the hospital at the time. And this had to be stitched. So they just tied this 4-year-old child and just said, all right, kid, you're just gonna have to fucking power through it. And they just stitched my forehead with my fisher skull without any anesthesia. So that happened. And I was 4. So I don't remember the full thing very well. I blocked a lot of it. But I do vividly remember just laying down on a room and just screaming my ass off, and that's it. That's the only memory of it I have. And years later, like my mom is like, oh, the guy who fucking make your stitches, he didn't do it right because it looks ugly. And I kind of don't care. I actually think it looks pretty neat. because I think normal foreheads are boring. But and I was like, years later, I realized like I'm not giving shit to that dude because that dude had to work under like the condition of this kid is not under anesthesia. So I was screaming and just moving and everything. So it's like he did a poor job. Of course it did. I would fucking complain to the fucking hospital for not being prepared for a situation like the one I was in. Like, not that one guy specifically, but more about the management, you know? The management didn't have an anesthesiologist at the time there. Alright, I went on a wild tangent about scars, and mine specifically. But that was the story time with me. I'm gonna drop a couple of those every now and then, if I feel like it. Okay, back to the Expanse. I don't know what else I should talk about. I mean, a couple character interactions between Holden and the other people that survived. The guy whose name may or may not be Alex. Okay, Alex is the guy that was dying because of lack of oxygen. So I don't know the name of the other guy that was kind of an asshole, who only listened to Naomi. So that guy's name, I don't know him. But that guy, there were no interesting interactions between him and Holden. And himself as a character, it's like, okay, he only listens to Naomi for some reason. So we'll see what the fuck that's about, because he was like, I could kill you right now, and I don't really have a reason to do it or not to do it. But other than Naomi would probably not like that. And I was like, okay, sure. He's a sucker for Naomi for some reason. Naomi knows that Holden fucked up, and that's the reason why everyone died and they're in the situation they're in. So, and I like that she's like, dude, fucking do your Chris is unconscious or whatever later. Right now, we gotta fucking focus on surviving this shit, because this situation is fucked for everyone here. And I do like that there were moments where Naomi was like literally the only person that is like trying to survive. And not even to survive herself, but just like for everyone to collectively make it out of this. She's like the only one. I like that. She's a good character. I'm glad that I immediately put my eye on her, because I was like, she looks cool. And then I was like, please be a cool character. And now she is. So it's like, good. At least right now. Hopefully she doesn't turn like bad either, or her character just falls apart or whatever. Episodes down the line. But for the time being, she is cool because she is like, fucking move! Do this thing that I told you to do. It's like the only thing we can do to survive is, and we have no time to spare. So fucking go and do it. You know? I enjoy that. Alright, so Naomi's cool, yeah. The other people here were cool too. Alex and Shet seem okay. The one other guy that I don't know his name, he didn't seem very cool. But at least for the time being, he seems interesting. So Miller is discovering that the Escapuli was transporting Julie Mao, and then he's probably gonna be on the track of like discovering what happened to it, and maybe he'll figure it out. I like that it's all of these characters are like the plot is connecting all of them, but none of them know each other, and none of them know why. None of them know what I know, you know? Like, all of this are individual things that we are seeing, individual, like, storylines, but the plot threads connect every single one of them, right? Well, the Earth Woman hasn't connected yet, but the night crew, as well as the Escalupi, as well as Miller and the investigators, all of those have connected. They don't know that they have connected, but they have connected. You know, for us, the audience, they're pretty much connected. So now we're waiting to see, okay, when is the story gonna come together? If they're gonna meet, or in which way this is gonna affect like multiple groups that we're following, when one does something and the other one sees it, like something like that. Because right now, the shipment that they were carrying with ice, it's like that whole shipment was missing, and everyone's talking about it on the news because it's like, oh, it's a big deal, right? So it's like, all right, like they're in the news, and like the characters that we are following for like half the show are in the news for the second half of the show that we're watching. And the second half of the show doesn't have anything to do with the first half. At least not that they know of. But we can see the threads connecting. And we can see the influence of one in the other. And I enjoy that. Because it's almost like watching two different shows, but they're connected. You know? And that's fun. That's fun. I enjoy that. I think that there's not that much to talk about here. Havelock seemed cool in that one scene where he told the rich dude to fucking stop talking about like Belters as if they were all criminals. You know? Just black people analogy. That's kind of what it sounded like. So you know. Like everyone, what did he say? It was like you seem sure it was Belters, and then he said the criminals here tend to be. It's like, fuck you. All right, moving on. Yeah, it's the whole scene where they're running out of oxygen. That was pretty good, dope. The Earth Lady, what was her name? Christian, sure. We don't get to see much of her. We see that she exists, and she's probably gonna be an important character here. But other than that, we just go to the end where the Mars, the night crew, eventually finds us like, oh, we made a signal, and now someone replied. But then it's like, oh fuck, the ones that replied were the Mars army. That they were the ones that shot us down to begin with. That are coming off to finish us off. And then what fucking Holden decides to do is I'm gonna hit record and make a video explaining what happened. We recovered a false beacon and identified as Martian naval technology. It was a trap, you know. Our ship was destroyed and we're the bogus SOS from a show called the Escapuli, you know. We're about to be taken aboard by the MCRN Donegal. And then we're just like, what the fuck are you doing? No, shut up. And the asshole guy fucking points a gun at him and goes like, should he just fucking off this guy? And then he's like, we're dead anyway, so fuck you. I don't care. And then he goes, it just needs to reach one ship station, then it will spread. And then the other guy, Alex, says that their jammers were in range. So it probably won't reach anywhere. However, I think it will. Because I feel like that would be a really interesting thing to happen. Just like, this ship went missing with a cargo for ice or whatever that people fucking love because like water is kind of an important resource. And it's all over the news. Everyone's talking about it. So it's like, what happened? And then like a random video of this one guy from that ship goes fucking viral on the internet and just says like, we got fucking nuked by the Martians and 5 of us survived. And we answered like an SOS, like missing like a signal from a ship called the Escapuli. And then we got nuked by the Martians. We identified it as like the Martian army. So then it's like, if that reaches the public, that's gonna be terrible. Because that starts a war. That just starts a war, doesn't it? Like, it seems that they have established that there is kind of a Cold War going on between Earth and Mars, which is like, so a Cold War. It's like, we hate each other, but we're not killing each other right now. But it could escalate very quickly. This seems like the escalation point. The Martians just fucking nuking the ship for whatever reason with important cargo, which is water. And then it's like, all right, war. You know, I can see it. I can see it happening. So I think this message would actually get somewhere. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the Martians like turn out to be good or like chill or whatever. And then the message spreads. And then it's like, oh shit, we're fighting a war that actually shouldn't happen. You know? Something like that. I don't know. There's also another group called the OPA. Not sure what that is. It seems that it's like rebels anarchists from the Belters. Belters are also rebel anarchists. I have no idea. I have no idea what that is. It's just been mentioned. So there you go. I think that's it. Oh, at the very beginning, we saw like a flashback in between Holden and the girl. What's her name? Ray. I wrote it down. Ade Nygar. Aid Nygar, yeah. And they introduced each other. This was the first time they met. And then she said, Jim, there's something you should know. And then it just disappeared. So what the fuck? Alright. So when she died, she said, there's something you should know. Or something I have to tell you, I don't remember. And now here she said, there's something you should know. In a flashback. And then it cut away. So there's a reveal that the characters probably know about. Or don't, because she wanted to say something when she died too. Okay, what the fuck? The audience is clearly just has not been given the full story about what the fuck the deal with Nygar is. That much I'll say. But other than that, I don't think I can say anything because I just don't know. And I'm just gonna have to wait here and see whatever the show wants to tell me, whenever it does. So yeah, I think that was episode 2 of The Expanse. I think I talked about it for a nice bit. So yeah, I think we're done. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this reaction to The Expanse. If you would like to see next episode, it's already up on Patreon, as well as full length. Check out the links in the description, and see you next time. Take care.